Okay, this is an assessment of an assessment. Again, I think we found these to be kind of interesting and informative. Sunniva and I just got back from an assessment with some Mastiffs. And you had some thoughts in the car about it, assessing your assessment. So we were trying to capture a little bit of that thinking on film.
Yeah. I was really humbled to be asked by this woman to come out to help assess her dogs and if she was doing it right. How do I say it?
Right.
And when I get there, I find that this is a woman who's so good, who does everything so calm, so balanced. She does everything the right way. I mean, she's so good with her dogs, and it was really humbling experience to get to see and feel up close 5 big Mastiffs, or 4 of them I interacted with. Because I'd never worked with dogs of that size. The biggest one is 220 pounds, and he's awesome.
Yeah. He's
because
special.
I wondered how I would react. You know, I was thinking, will I be scared? Just because of their sheer size, and then I thought, yeah, maybe I will, but it doesn't matter because it's still something I have to go through. I have to learn to work with them as I have learned to work with dogs of the small breeds and large breeds too. The Mastiffs are really, English Mastiffs are really, they're not large breed, they're like an extra large breed, right? It's the above. And it was humbling. It really was. I learned a lot just by seeing them interact with each other and interacting with them. They were some of them were really sensitive, like a lot more sensitive than I thought that they were. By sensitive, I mean that they really picked up on my body language and what I did, more than what normal, like the average dog would do. Like, I'm used to sensitive dogs, but I wasn't used to the big dogs, or I didn't expect the really big dogs to be that sensitive. It's something that I've seen, a lot from actually smaller breeds that are more used to reading us to see what, how to respond. So yeah, that was really neat. And I got a neat experience when I were to assess that dog, and it's just something, I guess, to me, I would say I just got to get used to it, because I got used to them in the time that I spent there and was a lot more comfortable with their size and their being. So it's something about being, I guess, being humble enough to realize that you're not a world champion out of the gates ever. You won't be the best writer in the world in your first book. You just get better and better, and that's kind of how I feel. Like, I've never said or thought that I am the best at anything, but I found it really neat to spend some time with them, because now I've learned, or I'm learning about yet another breed, gaining experience, and I'm in awe at that. So when you see these big sensitive dogs and they react to the tiniest little movement of your body or tiniest little tension, then yeah, it's like being with horses, I guess, because they're the same. It's just that horses are prey, not predators. They'll always be different. They're not ever charging you, or rarely. Sometimes they do. That was my immediate thoughts, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
The validation was what she was seeking, I think, and it was successful in that aspect, which is kind of why we were called in, just to validate that she had the dog where she thought maybe perhaps he should be based on the circumstances. Yeah, so it was almost another set of eyes giving a validation.
It was a dog that was had been given a kind of a death sentence by she was fostering it, and it was given kind of a death sentence by the rescue in charge of it, and she adopted it to save it. And people had said that it was aggressive. I deemed it to be not aggressive, just reactive. Dog, it's not confident. It needs to gain more confidence to be more sure around people and animals, but it's certainly not dangerous. So, and then so yeah, I think she's doing everything right, and I've got some ideas of how to take the dog even further, but it'll be a lot of experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's willing to do that.
Yeah.
I think I can feel, kind of sense what the dog needs. But having not worked with a dog that size or before, I'm not. I can never be 100% sure, but you can never be until you try it.
Right. What's the biggest lesson you took away today? Because you were deep in thought on the drive back.
The biggest lesson. It's hard, I'm always assessing myself, and I'm always criticizing myself, and I guess today I assessed myself, and I think that I did my best in the situation, and I was faced with something new. It's like I told you in the car, I'll be faced with so many firsts now in the beginning of starting up a business and doing it this way. We're faced with so many firsts. This is a first, another first. The firsts are always hardest in one way. It was like the first time I went and helped people potty train their dogs, right? It was a first. And I did it, and I go kind of like, okay, so this is how I want to do it. I could either come back from that session and think this is how I want to continue doing it, or I can come back and say I'd like to change this and that. So a little experimentation. This is a first, and I'm all over happy about how it went about, and I'm also really glad I got to meet some really cool Mastiffs and got to know them and observe them and learn more about the breed, because I think breed knowledge is really important.
Yep. Yeah, we were really honored to be there today, and great experience. As you say, everyone is something to teach us, to teach you. The animals are greatest.
Yeah.
Some of the greatest teachers.
I probably learned more today if I just sit down and think about it, but all in all, it's very humbling to be faced with something that scares you a little. To be honest, when they come out running towards you, big dogs, when what they're thinking is kind of like, new person, let's investigate. And there's like this moment of initial kind of fear. I'm not sure if I can call it fear, like intimidation maybe? A little bit. And then I just say to myself, like, just breathe. This is yet another thing you face. And then I remind myself to just do what it is that I do, which is feel the dogs. I feel them, kind of. I don't just see them and observe them in a kind of a very academic fashion, but I feel them, and I kind of feel what they think and what they feel. So I do that, and I'm surprised. I even told her, I'm like, wow, they just feel like little dogs, like normal dogs, even though they weigh more than me. Like all of them weigh more than me,
Right.
and I weigh too much right now. So, and that was really, really cool. Because I know this to be true, and often it's this one thing, that differs for people. You know a lot, right? But you don't feel it until you experience it. Which is why people out there, they're like, oh yeah, real love, that's really nice, I've heard or read. But until they feel it, they don't know.
Right.
Until they experience it. So now I experienced something that I knew to be true, but I experienced it today.
For the first time.
And I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, powerful. Another glimpse inside the transparency as we grow as individuals, as a couple, as a team, as a company, as a family. And we're willing to share that growth, because I think everybody is growing in some way and can relate. I think that's some of the relatability here. Anyway, awesome assessment of the assessment, and we will catch you guys again soon.